All right. So it's been what, a week since or 2 weeks from us returning from Miami?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay. So in those 2 weeks, I put on some weight in 2 weeks in Miami.
Yeah,
A lot of it is because we were lifting and eating. Um,
metabolism up.
yeah, but I decided to start shedding some of that weight. So this week I actually did a 3-day water only fast.
What? So no coffee.
No coffee, no.
Whoa.
So I
Okay.
had, so I did one of these 6 months ago. So I kind of knew what I was expecting, but basically what it is for 72 hours I only consume water and then electrolytes. So like a couple different types of salts.
Got you.
Are you familiar with snake juice?
No.
You don't know? Okay. So snake juice is,
Only snake oil, baby.
yeah. So there's this YouTube channel. A couple years ago. It's still around, but it's basically this guy. He's this angry Canadian, and he just tells you to like fast until you're not fat. But when you fast, you have to drink what he calls snake juice, and it's basically water, salt, potassium chloride, which is like a different
Hmm.
type of salt, magnesium sulfate, I believe, and then baking soda.
Wow.
So yeah, I did it Monday at I believe 3 p.m. is when I started. And actually, I have my weights. I'll tell you kind of my weight journey because I'm a little thinner than I was um, a couple weeks ago. So, just for reference, when we got to Miami, the last time I weighed myself was the day before. I was 163 pounds.
Okay.
The day we got back from Miami, I was 167 pounds.
Okay. So 4 pounds.
I started my fast on Monday at 160. Or actually, what Monday was the 30th? No, Monday was the 29th. So I started at 164 pounds. So I
Okay.
shed some of the weight from Miami.
Interesting. During Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, my Thanksgiving, I mean, Thanksgiving Day, I ate a lot, but I didn't go out like the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
So that and I didn't drink as much. So I kind of survived Thanksgiving. But yeah, I started 164 pounds. I finished my fast. I actually went 74 hours just because my schedule. I had to come home and whatever.
Hmm.
I finished it at 157.9 pounds.
Okay. And did you weigh yourself? Did you weigh yourself the following morning after breaking your fast?
Not the following morning. I weighed myself today, and I believe I was like right under 160.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you only put on 2 pounds following the fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this fast was actually way easier than the one I did 6 months
Well,
ago.
so I was gonna say the when you did it 6 months ago, that was your first ever 3-day fast, right?
Yes.
The before that you had done 48.
Yeah, so that time was right before the pandemic. I attempted a 3-day fast, but I didn't prep. I just kind of did it after actually 3 weeks in Europe.
Yeah,
So let's just say, like, yeah, 40 some hours in, I had massive headache. Work was kind of busy that day, and I was like, screw this. I'm just gonna eat.
yeah. I've done multiple, so like pretty much once a quarter, I'll do somewhere between 36 and 48.
Yeah.
For me, it just sometimes I'll do it to kind of snap myself into ketosis to
Hmm.
go keto for a couple of days because
Yeah.
I always feel like that's just good for my gut to do that.
Yeah, and that's actually what
Um,
I'm doing now. I'm kind of several days into keto. I'm like, let me just take the momentum.
yeah, and just carry it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. But yeah, the idea of doing it for 3 days, like, and again, it might just be the mindset that I'm in right now because, I mean, like for the last like 3, 4 years, I've been lifting like more than I ever have.
Yeah.
So I've built a ton of muscle to the point that my appetite is voracious.
Hmm.
So usually, like on a given day, I'm eating like an animal. So to go from consuming, anywhere from probably like 3,500 to 4,500 calories a day, just like depending on what I'm doing and how hungry I am, to eating zero is
Yeah.
just, it's a lot. And now I can do 24. I can shut my mind off for 24 hours and just say, "Oh yeah, I just had dinner. I'm not going to eat until dinner tomorrow." That's
Hmm.
fine. And I will do coffee. So I will do
Yeah.
coffee getting through it. I want to talk to you about that. But how did 3 days feel the first time you did it as compared to the 48 hours that you had done previously?
So you mean 6 months ago when I actually completed one?
When you completed the 3-day fast, how did
Yeah.
that compare to your old 48-hour fasts?
Yeah, so 6 months ago I did one, and I also did not drink coffee, but I drink a lot of coffee, or I don't drink a lot. I drink like 2 cups a day in the
Mhm,
morning. When I did my first one 6 months ago, the first day I actually had a headache. I don't know if it was caffeine related or just I happened to have a headache
mhm.
because I was like shocked because I was like, I do 24-hour fast all the time. Why am I feeling a headache day one? Other than that, that was fine. Day two, really fine because at that point you're in ketosis. Your hunger kind of goes away.
Mhm.
And again, I'm drinking this snake juice, so you're still sipping on electrolytes. There's no calories in them,
Do
but
when the hunger pangs come, do they come worse and worse and worse
no,
on days 2 and 3?
no.
Interesting.
You no by like day two or three, you're like, if I had to, I could do 5 days.
Really?
But then it's like you want to. So when I do these fasts, I try to minimize muscle loss, and I don't think I lost maybe a pound of muscle at most. And the reason is because uh, 6 months ago I had a little less fat on me. I had a six pack that was a
Mhm.
little bit more defined.
Well,
Um,
it's wintertime.
yeah, so I'm thinking one of the reasons this one was so much easier or felt so much easier is because I had more fat that my body could just like, hey, here's 2,000 calories,
Oh,
so
interesting.
we're good. And again, when it came to working out, I did tone it back. The first day I did a typical workout. The second day actually did yoga, and then the third day I actually didn't work out. I just, yeah.
How's your sleep?
Sleep is good. I know my first one 6 months ago. I remember reading up on it, and they're like, just so you know, you can have trouble sleeping. So I was expecting a couple rough nights of sleep. I wear this Aura ring
Yeah.
both 6 months ago and this week. Great sleep. It's one thing I'll
Wow.
notice is because I use a chili pad and I keep my place pretty cold.
Mhm.
I don't need it as cold. My body doesn't produce as much heat, so that is something I noticed. But slept like a baby.
Wow. And so, one thing I've noticed when I do the fasting, usually, and this could be a mental thing. Like, I think one of the things that I compare it to is like rep ranges when you're working out.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever noticed how when you go, like, I'm going to do 30 push ups, it's almost as if you could have told yourself, like, you're capable of doing 40,
Hmm.
but for some reason, because you're stopping at 30, those last five just feel hard.
Yeah, it's
You,
mental.
you know what I mean? It's almost like maybe it's because you're trying to like get like the most out of those last five, or it like I've noticed it with like bench pressing, where the moment that I decide I'm going to do like an AMRAP set,
Hmm.
I will as many reps as possible. For those that don't know the abbreviation, I'll bang out like 9 reps on something that I previously thought like I'll be lucky to get five.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm aiming for five, that fifth one always feels hard.
Hmm.
So maybe it's because I never target anything beyond 48 hours. Like I'm usually like 36 hours is good. That's a good reset.
So
Where, dude, the moment that the 36-hour mark is coming up on me, I start to get insanely hungry. Like
yeah,
really, 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 really hungry. Um,
it's all mental.
so with you, like, do you have that same thing as the 72-hour mark is approaching? Like, are
Yeah.
you
So
like,
like
is your body like, oh, it's time for food mentally?
the first time 6 months ago, yes. Like I cooked my food an hour before it ended, so like it was literally on a plate waiting for me. But this week, like I said, I actually went 2 hours past 72 hours just because I had like a thing I had to do. So by the time I came back, I had a chicken I was cooking. So I was like, well, I need this to be cooked. And by the time that happened, it was 74 hours. But one thing I'll mention, so typically I fast at least 18 hours a day. But every once in a while, if I'm busy and I'm like at 22 hours, I'll be like, let me just do 24 just so I can do it. But then I'll be hungry. I'll be like, this is gonna be a tough 2 hours, but whatever. So it's interesting. Like a 24-hour fast, I'm like craving it, food at the end. Whereas the 72, it was like, I'm just gonna eat now because I didn't plan on going more than 72 hours, and I don't want to lose muscle. But like I wasn't starving. My appetite was gone. I mean, not it was gone, but like I wasn't hungry.
Did you do the snake juice the last time?
I did, yes,
You
yeah, I
did.
did it every single time.
Okay, maybe I wonder if that's now become like a signal to your body to like not expect food for a certain period of
It
time.
could. I mean, I've done it technically 3 times. The first time failed, but
But if it's the only thing that your body ingests, but if the only time you're ever ingesting that is during periods of time where you're going minimum 40 hours of
Yeah.
no food, could be a signal to your body. The body, dude, the body adapts quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be something like that. But yeah, man, do you notice a difference between the over when I say overall results, I don't just mean weight loss. Um, although weight loss is a huge part of it. Do you notice a difference in the results across the board, 72 versus say 36 to 48?
Um,
Like, is there more aggressive weight
I
loss?
did a 36-hour fast like 5 years ago, but that was like impromptu, so I
Yeah.
didn't really notice. Um, and the 48, I can't really tell. To be honest, I don't know. Um, I know when you're in the 72, and another thing that's probably important, I drink less water on those fasts.